Good evening, everyone. My name is Mike Reese, and welcome to another session in Let's Talk by Interlingua. The topic of today: let's get in shape. Doing exercise, it's a very important part of a lot of people's lives. But what does it take to take over this kind of lifestyle? What does it take to really develop the discipline, to develop the will that you must in order to turn this into a habit? Luckily, we have found plenty of people that can give us their personal experience. In a moment, they will tell us what the exercise, what the fitness lifestyle has done to their lives and how they manage to balance these physical activities with the other responsibilities they, of course, have to cover day by day. So let's bring out David Rodriguez, Alfonso Cortez, and Sonia Arena as our guests of today. How are you guys? Good evening, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, what's
Hello,
up?
Thank you.
hello. Well,
Hi.
hi. Glad glad you guys could make it. Thank you very much for being here. So, in a moment, each and every one of you will have their turn to answer a question that I'm going to give you so you can share me and our viewers your experiences in doing exercise, your experiences in getting in shape. But before that, I am aware that each and every one of you do different activities or practice different sports. So, right now, please tell me about that. Tell me about the practices that you guys do whenever you do exercise. And let's start with Sonia. My dear, how are you? What are the activities that you make or the sports that you practice?
Hello. I'm fine, thank you. I practice a lot of things right now. At the moment, I practice calisthenics, paddle tennis. I take insanity classes, functional training, spinning, and gym. So that's a lot of things.
That's a lot of activities. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We will we will talk about it some more in a moment.
Okay.
Alfonso, what are the sports or activities that you practice in order to get in shape, my friend?
Hi, Mike. Good evening. Well, I've practiced soccer all my life, basically. I've done a little bit of basketball, and I also practice paddle tennis, just like Sonia.
All right, all right, all right.
Yes. Trendy.
So we have an
Paddle
intense
is
athlete and we
trendy.
have an sports passionate so far. That's cool. So now, David, tell me, what do you do, my
Yep.
friend? What do you practice? What do you develop?
Well, thanks for having me here. First of all, well, basically, I do triathlon. No, my that's my activity, especially long distance triathlons, endurance sports, running, cycling, swimming, this kind of stuff. I also work out. I mean, I've practiced a lot of sports, but this is like the main focus, right? Like triathlon and I mean lifting weights a little bit. I used to lift weights more, a little bit more in the past, but currently triathlon is like the sport that I'm into.
All right. Wow, guys, you make me feel like I don't do anything. I mean, I do work out. I try to go to the gym at least 4 or 5 times a week, but you guys do a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. So let's get into that. So who knows? Someone from our viewers might get inspired by you and also practice the things that you do, because let's re- let's face it. I mean, we're we're not all made to do the same things. It's a fortune that you guys practice different things. So maybe our viewers and whoever else watches this broadcast in the future develop an idea in their minds to say like, hey, maybe I'm not good to lift weights, but maybe I can practice endurance sports, maybe I can do paddle, blah blah blah. So let me begin with Sonia. My dear, something really caught my attention.
Okay.
The insanity part. Tell me
Yes.
about it. What is it about? Why is it called it? Why is it called that way? And what do you do? What do you have
Well,
to
the
do
name
when
I
you do
think,
insanity?
sorry, sorry.
No, it's okay.
The name I think that describes it very well. It's insane training, and it's like an interval training at maximum intensity. Okay, it's it's crazy. I told you. Um, there are free exercise, which means that you only use your body. Okay, we do jumping jacks, we do squats, lunge, burpees, push-ups, planks, and even hold exercise. Right now, my training is about 45 minutes, and each exercise has the time of 1 minute. So imagine yourself doing jumping jacks, 1 minute, then the other minute squat, then lunge and burpees, and well, my trainer combines them and makes a variation for each one. So imagine burpees, but you can do burpees with with push-ups, and then jumps, and then jumps for left, jumps for right. It's very, very, really, really funny for me, but it's exhausting too. I always ask my trainer where he gets so much evil, and he only says that that's for my own good. So I think it's that. Hello, hello.
Hey, well, as I told you in the beginning, I practice mostly soccer. I've played soccer since I was like 3 or 4 years old, and I never really trained. It's always been something more in the aspect of playing. It's not like a competitive thing because I do not really train. So it's a weekend thing. Mhm. Um, I also practice paddle tennis. I discovered this sport 2 years ago since I got into a sports club. I didn't even know what that game was, but I immediately fell in love with it and I started playing almost every day. I really, really love that game. Um, it's a game that is played in couples. It's two versus two, and it's you are surrounded by mostly glass and uh, metal fence, and I don't know. It's a very dynamic game, and I think that's the reason that I like it so much because you need to have very good reflexes and you need to be very active inside the paddle court. And as I told you, I also like to play basketball. That I don't practice basketball so much nowadays, but I really like it too. It's a very explosive game, and I really like um, games that involve um, the team. I really like team sports. I like games that involve talking to your partners and making plans and stuff like this. So I really love that. What about you, Dave? What do you practice? I think that we all have different perspectives and different focuses. For example, Sonny takes it very seriously. I think it's she has very high goals in what she does, and she's very very disciplined. In my case, it's more like uh, how would you say that? It's not high performance,
Like
you know.
leisure. No?
I don't do it like that. Yeah, it's more leisure, exactly. But what about you? I think that what you do requires a lot more discipline and focus than what I do.
Yeah, probably. Well, the thing is that Sonia, for example, she practices different disciplines. Some of them can be combined or they are compatible, perhaps. In my case, I'm more specialized in something, like in endurance. All the training is about that. So probably that would be the difference. Well, and speaking about triathlon, well, triathlon is very demanding sport in terms of effort. No, it takes time. I don't know. It's a sport that people may think that it's just you run, you swim, you ride a bicycle, and that's it. No, but there are many things that are around it, right? So I don't know. Well, in my case, what I like to do the most is long distance competitions, Ironmans. No, for
Hmm.
people who don't know what an Ironman is, it's a long distance triathlon, which is 3.8 kilometers swimming, 180 kilometers riding a bicycle, and 42 kilometers running. No, like a pedestrian race or a full marathon. That's basically an Ironman. No, well, this is a competition that is organized in many parts of the world. In Mexico, it used to be organized in Los Cabos and in Cozumel, but right now it's just organized in Cozumel. It's organized every November, and people from all over the world come here to do it. No, especially the island of Cozumel is a great place for sports. No, so they have sports events all the time. The swimming is wonderful. The bicycle is demanding. No, there's a lot of wind. One of the most difficult things when you're riding a bicycle is the wind. That's like the resistance that you have to the feet. So that's one of the biggest deals when you are riding a bicycle. Cycling, well, it's a sport that has developed a lot of technology nowadays. There are devices that can measure the power that you put on the pedals. The aerodynamics have improved a lot. The materials that are used to make bicycles are better. So that probably that's my favorite sport of the three, because it's very scientific. Let's say you can measure a lot of stuff when you're riding a bicycle, and when running, no running, that is probably the most exhausting, the most demanding in terms of injuries, perhaps. No, that if you don't have a proper technique, you can suffer some injuries. So if you're just beginning, it would be a good idea to have a coach or something, because things can happen if you don't do it right. So yeah, and well, the food, there's a lot of stuff about this sport, but yeah, it's I don't know, crossing the line after all the training that you have to put up, no, or at least 6 months perhaps of training 4 hours, 5 hours a day. The races, just like the I don't know, the ending of everything, no? And sometimes you think like, well, you have to, I don't know, you have to be in a race for 9 hours, 10 hours. There are people who take 16 hours, but then you think about all the training and you say like, well, you train 5 hours a day, so what's bigger? No? So that's a little bit about the sport that I do. I think you're mute, Mike.
We cannot
And
hear you, Mike.
will you participate in the Ironman contest this year?
Not this year. I just did an Ironman in November. No, actually, that was like the best race I've ever had. No, I broke my PR for almost an hour and a half. which was something big, no. And not this year because, well, currently I'm recovering of an injury. This is an injury that I had. I used to play soccer some years ago, so I broke my ACL, and since I've been putting a lot of stress on my knees and everything, there was a point in which I had to get it. So right now I'm taking some rehab for that. I also had to like repair my meniscus, stuff in the knee. So that was that's the thing. So right now I'm focused on that. I'm like working a lot at the gym. I'm lifting weights, trying to get stronger, because when you train, especially when you train for an Ironman, you devote all your time to that kind of training. No, so you need to spend 3 hours, 4 hours on the bike. On weekends can be 7 or 8. No, so you have no energy for more, and you leave the strength workout a little bit aside, no, which is not the best idea, but sometimes you have to put in a balance what you want to do, no, because you also have to work, you also have to do other stuff. And if I were professional, no, if I were sponsored by someone, well, maybe I could think about uh,
Doing it full
dedicating.
time.
I would probably do it full time, no, but well, it's
Yeah.
not the case. So yeah, there's still stuff to be done apart from the triathlon.
All right. All right. But you do what you like, so
Yeah,
I
that's
I
that's the
respect
point.
that. I
That's
respect that.
that's the reason why I work to be able to do what I like. No, yeah,
I
most of my
understand
money
that.
goes there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Keep on
it's what
doing
it
it,
takes.
brother. All right.
Yeah,
So you were speaking about injuries. Alfonso, as I understand, you have also faced injuries throughout your working out life. Can you tell me about it? Like, are you still injured, or what was the worst injury that you faced in your life?
That's actually my secret. I'm always injured, you know? I'm like Hulk, I'm always injured, bro. No, well, the thing is that this is the problem of being so recreative and not training, you know? If you do not train, your body is not going to be strong enough to sustain all the stress that you are putting into it. I, as I told you the other day that we were talking, I play too much. I play too many games, and I've lowered the number because I used to play 7 games a week. Now I only play five. No, but this is something that will hurt your body if you don't take some time to train and to strengthen it. Right now, my left knee has a problem. I don't know if it's my meniscus or some kind of accessory ligament, but it it feels unsteady. No, that's one problem that I have right now. And a few years ago, I had an accident playing soccer. I jumped and some guy turned me upside down and I fell head first. So I had a really bad uh, injury in my neck, basically, you know.
Oh,
And there have been some sequels because sometimes I have a lot of pain at the back of my head or my cervicals, and mm, sometimes my hands go numb when I'm riding my bike. Sometimes my hands go numb, and I think it's a little bit related to this accident that I had. So yes, even though soccer is not an extreme sport, you can sustain different kinds of injuries. And what surprises me the most is that one of the worst injuries that I've had was playing paddle, and it's because of the technique. If you don't know how to spin and to move your body properly, you can hurt your knees pretty badly. Yeah, in a pretty bad way, you know. So this is our recommendation for everybody that is listening or watching this. Please learn your sport properly. Always warm up before doing exercise. It's very very important that you do all these kind of things, and at the end probably some stretching, a little stretching, so your muscles can get less tense. No, they can relax a little bit. I think that that's something that I could say, and those have been my injuries. That's my history of injuries. It's not so bad. I think that David has more stories to tell.
Yeah, thanks to soccer basically. Yeah, as you mentioned, it's not an extreme sport, no, but probably is one of the most dangerous ones that you could play. No, I mean basketball, obviously soccer, all these sports that are contact sports. Uh, I mean, you are prone to injuries all the time, no? I don't know, a clash with somebody. Most of the times the pitches where we play are not in the best conditions. All the holes, uh, the grass where we play. So there are many dangerous things practicing this kind of sports, but they're fun. So when you put them in a balance, like what do I want? No, so I want to stay away from injuries, and I want to be safe and sound for the rest of my life, or I want to have fun. So most of the times
Oh,
we want to have fun. So no,
yeah. The important thing
I
is to
think that's
find balance between
the,
that. Yeah, between
yeah,
taking a risk,
no,
but not too much of it. You know.
yeah, but you
I
can never be
understand.
in a
I
bubble. So,
exactly.
no,
I agree with that.
yeah.
Sonia, Alfonso mentioned something very interesting about that. One of the injuries that he has currently was for doing paddle. You practice paddle
Uh-huh.
as well. Are you injured as
Yeah.
well, or you are clean in that manner?
Um, Before I practiced paddle, I
Uh
practiced
huh.
a lot of tennis. So I
Oh,
I have always been very very careful with the
mhm.
technique of each sport I
Okay.
practice. So I don't have an injury of tennis, not even paddle, because as Alfonso said, the technique is really really important. No, you can you I don't know. It's Poncho have a lot of injuries because he just wanna play.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and he he sees a a paddle court and he's like, let's play. And I'm like, no, we need to warm out. We need to run. We need to even practice the movement. No, so no, I don't have an injury. Not right
Which is
now,
quite
and I hope
impressive though,
never.
since like I think tennis could be one of the most harmful sports either.
Yeah,
Which one?
yeah, you can
Tennis,
tennis
tennis,
because you
the
move
movement
around a
that
lot.
you have on your knees, on your elbow, is, I
No.
mean,
It's very
especially if you play
demanding.
constantly.
Yes, I have an example. The time I injured my knee,
Uh-huh.
it was because I was really really tired. I don't want to play any more game, but I have a friend that told me, "Let's play. Let's just play a little." And then with because I was really really tired, I have an injury because my body wasn't really ready for that movement. So
Okay.
since that time, uh, I took it really, really serious because I love to do the things that I practice. So I do it. Uh, I I take the responsible way for the sport because I want to play for all my life. That's my plan. I can't live without the sport. So I prefer take my time, prepare my body, uh, make a straight and training, So the injury is, how do you say, uh, tarde más?
Oh,
Takes longer.
No llegue.
yeah.
No.
All right. To go
Yes,
all
but
the way, to go all the way.
yeah.
Because of the things that you just told me, well, I assume that you are a very disciplined person. It takes a lot of discipline to practice all the things that you have done throughout your life. However, discipline is not precisely a virtue that all the people have. So, what do you recommend to everyone so they can like improve their discipline, not only in working out but also in all the other areas in life, like work or maybe just habits? How do you what do you recommend to the people who are watching so they can develop a disciplined habit?
I think that the most important thing that I have found is that you must love the thing that you are doing. I think that if you feel good doing any sport of any activity, you will you will give it the time, and you will want to practice so much that you became good enough in that activity.
Okay.
So you have to find the activity for you, because running is not for everybody. No, the gym is not for everybody. Paddle, tennis, football. I think we have to find the sport that, or the activity that you love.
Okay, thank you.
So the disciplines came so easy.
Oh, good to know. Good to know. I hope that's helpful for our viewers. Thank you very much, Sonia. Speaking of discipline, David, what you practice, all the Ironman contest, being a triathlete, it demands a lot from you, but you also need to be ready for each competition. Tell me, how do you manage to sustain a healthy lifestyle? Because that's another thing that we also need to cover. It's not only showing up in the gym, it's not only just move around, it's not only doing the exercise. You also need to watch what you consume, what you put in your body, what your body needs. So tell me a little bit about that. Tell me about your nutrition habits, David. How do you prepare
Okay.
yourself to those contests?
Okay. Um, regarding nutrition, uh, I think that whatever you do, no, any sport that you practice, uh, there are some necessities that should be covered regarding nutrition, no? And you should know them. You should know how much energy your body needs to play 90 minutes of soccer or to do a hit training, for example. No? Obviously,
Okay,
uh, riding a bicycle maybe is an exercise, just to give an example, that requires it's like a very high energy consumption exercise. No,
okay,
so you need to have an idea of how much you need to eat. No, like give or take, riding a bicycle for 1 hour at a moderate effort should consume around 600 to 700 calories. So if you know that it would take you 5 or 6 hours to cover the distance that you want to cover that day, well, you have to do the math. No, you have to know, like, if I'm going to ride 7 hours on a bicycle, so I have to consume throughout this period of time on the bicycle, around, I don't know, 7 times 5, 3,500 calories, give or take. On
Wow.
the bicycle, plus the food that you eat to live, because your body burns calories for the regular activities, like breathing. Breathing burns calories. It's not like if you want to get fit, don't start breathing fast. No, 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 that's not the way it works, right? So that's not the way. Yeah, because people think like, okay, so if I will burn fat. No, that's not the way it is. No, but what? So that's what you have to know. No, and then you have to plan. Planning is key. Planning is key
Okay.
to in everything you do. No, you have to write down. You have to write down how much food I'm going to eat in the breakfast, what I'm going to eat in the breakfast. No, regarding nutrition, basically there are three groups that are called macros. That is carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. No? So carbohydrates give you energy. No, a protein is like the bricks of the body. No, they are used to build muscle. No, and fats are very important. Many people avoid fats because they they uh they think they're evil. No, they think that, I don't know. So fats actually, well, this is something that is in vogue nowadays, this keto diet that has become really popular recently, which is
Oh
focused
yeah.
on more than carbohydrates. It's a really good tool if you know how to do it. No, you have to go with a professional. People go and say, I will go keto, I will cut off carbohydrates, and I will start eating proteins and fats. That's not the way it works. You have to know what fats you're going to eat, how much fat you're going to eat, because you have to include carbohydrates in your diet, even if you want to be keto, right? Because they are necessary. No, the thing is that there are different kinds, and you should know which ones are good and which ones are bad. No,
For
so
for instance, what can be some what could be some examples of good fats and good carbohydrates, so
all
people
right.
may know a little bit about the difference.
All right. Facts. That's probably the most important information that people should know. No.
Okay, go for it.
Avoid vegetable oils. They are the devil. No, I mean, if you wanna die when you're 55, cook with this kind of oils. No, that's the worst thing you can put in your body. No,
Okay,
don't eat those things.
vegetable
No?
oils.
Vegetable oils, those are like the worst. No,
Okay.
sesame oil. There's I don't remember the name, but well, all the vegetables oil, the typical ones, the ones that you can buy at the store that are pretty cheap, they're cheap for a reason. So don't eat them, right?
All right.
So good fats. Many people think that fats that come from animals are bad. Many people say, like, I don't eat carnitas because they have a lot of fat. Well,
Uh-huh.
they're not a problem if you know how much you have to eat. No,
Okay.
cheese is awesome. Cheese is wonderful. Just be careful with the combination. The cheese is
Okay.
good. No, olive oil, avocado, those are fats. Nuts, of course, nuts are one of the best things that you can eat. No, so these are some examples. On the other hand, carbohydrates, we can put them into groups. No, simple and complex carbohydrates. No, simple carbohydrates are there's a very important hormone in our body that is the insulin. No, insulin is key for losing weight. Sorry, is key to losing weight or to gaining weight. So the problem with carbohydrates is that if they're simple, they produce, or you produce, a lot of insulin when you put that in your body. So the problem with simple carbohydrates is that they're transformed into sugar very, very quickly. So that's the kind of carbohydrates that you want to eat if you are on the bicycle, for example. If you want to get fast energy, no, bananas, these gels that are very popular. No, I don't know if you,
Uh-huh.
like, when you go to a marathon or something, you see people like
Yeah,
uh,
sucking on jello
popping
gels. Yeah.
their gels and they're sucking them. No, well, these kind of things. No, those are simple carbohydrates. They're good for the moment that you're doing exercise. But if you are watching TV and you say like, you know what, I'm feeling like drinking some Gatorade. That no, you
Don't.
shouldn't
Don't
be
do it.
doing that. No?
Okay.
So that's just like a bunch of sugar. You shouldn't do that. No, that's just for
Oh,
the moment of doing exercise. The other kind of carbohydrates, they are they are transformed into sugar slowly. So that is energy that lasts longer. So for example, if you know that tomorrow you're gonna go for a run, no, maybe you can eat some oats. You can eat some potato, right? Some sweet potato, no? And this is
oh,
energy that your body takes longer to process, no? But that's energy that you will be able to use at the moment of the race. And
okay.
actually, that is energy that will be transformed into glucose. Glucose is the energy of the muscles. So, for example, when you have cramps, no, that's because
Ah.
you have already run. Yeah, that's when you have already run out of glucose. No, I don't know if you have seen in like endurance sports, there's a very famous image about a triathlete in Cancun, no, who was about to finish the race and he crashed like 500 meters away from the finish line. He was like this,
Mhm.
no, and his brother literally carried him on his shoulder to be able to cross the line because he ran out of
Wow.
glucose. I mean, he was like a zombie, no,
Yeah.
because of this, because all the effort that he put in the race, he crashed. There was a moment that there was no more left in the tank. So
Oh.
that's the kind of thing. Probably he was like very hyped for finishing the race. And when you're racing, no, you have to be really, really conscious of what and when you have to eat. Ironman is you can be successful in Ironman or a marathon
Mhm.
maybe
Okay.
60 or 70% because of nutrition. If your nutrition is bad, doesn't matter how many hours you ran for your training, no, everything is
You
going to
won't
go down
last.
if you don't eat. If you don't drink what you have to drink, if you don't eat what you have to eat, you're fucked up. So,
Oh.
uh, literally, no. And I've experienced it myself. I mean, the first time that I ran a marathon, I felt really good, no, but I had no idea about nutrition. I mean, I heard people saying this and that, like you should eat this, you should eat that, and and I did it like that. I finished it, but I thought that I would never run a marathon again. And 2 or
Okay.
3 days later, I said like, well, maybe I will come back, huh? And I'll see what
Okay.
happens. I will get more information about it. But yeah, and it's not about eating a lot or eating just a little. It's eating what you have to eat. That's it. So planning. If I could give people a recommendation if they want to do a sport like this, plan your training, plan your food, write everything down, keep in mind what you did the day before, what you're going to do the following day, so you keep progressing. No, there's no progress if you're going in circles. No,
Okay.
you will never have
Have to
progress
go
if today.
forward.
Exactly, if you go to the gym today and you work out really hard and you put and you put all your effort in your training, but in 3 days you can barely move because of all the stress that your body has, it's not going to
Yes.
work. So it's better
Okay.
to balance it, no, and to say, okay, I will do this today, but tomorrow I have to do this, and the day after tomorrow I have to do this. And it's better, like sometimes it's better doing a little bit less than a little bit more.
All
And
right.
that's hard.
That's a pretty good advice. Thank you very much for that. All that information, David. Thank you a
All
lot.
right.
Thanks, man. So, Alfonso, there's something that I would like you to share with us. I was speaking. I spoke to you earlier this week, and you mentioned something really interesting that I would love for you to share with us and with our viewers. And it's about how sports and doing exercise actually helped you in your life. But I'm not talking about, the benefits. of being fit, of being healthy. I'm talking about what and how it changed your life and what did you learn from it. Please tell us about that.
Sure, sure, of course, Mike. Well, the thing is that I have always been very indisciplined, and I've always been very easily, not, I wouldn't like to say manipulated, but it's like I don't have very strong will, you know? So I also have this part of being lazy or going to bed really late or playing video games. And I think that one of the things that saved me from doing that, because that is not very good for your body, going to bed late, like sleeping very little or not eating well, or drinking, or I don't know, consuming stuff that you shouldn't consume. Um, I think that sports have saved me because I like to play so much that I had to force myself to get up early on Saturdays, on Sundays, to practice my sport because my matches were at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. and I couldn't have a hangover because it's horrible to play with a hangover. You know, I there was
Okay.
for example, I used to smoke cigarettes. I used to
Okay.
smoke not a lot, but there was a point in my life when I noticed that during the game, my performance was pretty mediocre, you know?
All
And I
right.
am not used to this. I'm used to giving my best and I'm used to killing myself in the court or in the pitch or wherever I am. I'm used to giving more than 100%. So there was one match where I was spitting my lungs out. You know, I was basically coughing so bad and feeling that my chest burned so much because I was so agitated and I was so tired that I said, okay, I'm going to stop smoking as of today. I never had a problem, for example, with alcohol or anything, but I had to stop smoking because I had to make a very important decision, you know. And even though I'm not going to become, or I was not going to become a professional or anything, it's like a commitment to yourself. It's like making a promise to yourself that you will be able to give your best inside the pitch because I am the kind of person that asks the rest of the team to give their best. So how are you going to ask that from somebody else when you are not able to give it yourself? You know, and that's what sport helped me to do. It helped me to realize what I prefer and what I love to do more. You know, so that helped me a lot.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you so
Yeah, it's
much.
not a
So,
problem.
in the bottom line, doing exercise can help us get rid of bad habits and helps us to make good ones.
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
that's a big
totally.
recommendation for all of our viewers. Thank you very much, Alfonso. Sonia,
Thank you.
there is a matter that, I mean, in from my perspective, I think it's very common, but not many people talk about it as much as it should. And that is about how many women, if not all of them, sometimes are looked in a bad way when they work out in a very serious matter, when they like build up muscle, when they do intense training. I know that you have faced something like that, but you somehow manage to go through that, to fight through that. How do you do it? And what would you recommend to all women who are going through the same thing?
Mm, well, as a female athlete, I have had very bad experiences, but some even was self-imposed. where I have put so much pressure on me, on myself, that I have even hurt myself. mm. Especially as a teenager, when you don't understand why the guy who were training with you and you beating you beating from one week to other, he changed a lot, and now he's faster and stronger and leave you behind. I think that first comparison with yourself, it's really really painful, um, because you can understand why he can and why I can't. No? If we are the same age, the same, uh, I don't know, we are just the same.
We're
Why?
people.
Why? We are people and we are training together. So why, when you are training more than me, or what happened? No. So that's the first trait that I have. But and I think the important thing to mention is that, like a female athlete, we need a guy. We need to have a guide to to through through these thoughts, because you can
Ah,
go really
who
really
te-
deep.
that teaches you?
Yes, to teach you,
Okay, okay,
to
okay, okay,
show
okay.
you that yes, you are not as a guy. You are not a guy, and that's not a bad thing. Uh, you are different because yes, I waste a lot of time make a comparison with my friends, and even I have the thought that why I am a female, why no, who chose me for be a woman. I want to be
Okay.
strong and I want to be faster and I want no. So yes, I think a really really important thing is that we need a guide for that. Um, Now the things that the other part is when from outside you, the comparisons, no, um, like the weight,
Mm-hmm.
the to go to the gym, and you have the comments that told you that yes, you go training, but don't get too bulky, no, because you're a female and you and female are beautiful and no,
Mm-hmm.
that things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yes. Again, we need a guy, psychological or even your trainer should be able to teach you that things. Yeah,
That
I
if you
think
want
it's
to
a
be powerful, if you want to be bulky, if you want to like,
yes, it's your
make the
choice. And
best out of you,
yes,
it's up
I
to you.
practice the gym. Yes, I practice gym because I love calisthenics, but I
Okay.
need strength. Yeah, I have to be able to uh, make a lot of routine to complete my routine in parallel bars.
Okay.
Uh, so I need muscles, I need resistance, and yes, even my family have told me like, "Oh, but you're growing so much, don't you think?" And it's like, "Yeah, so what's the problem?"
Like you should go. Like you want to tell me something?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, go tough. Yeah, yeah. Like,
but
what are you gonna do about it, huh?
yes.
Don't you like it?
You want to
It's your
see what you
problem.
are for?
The
So
bottom line, I believe that everyone has the right to do whatever they want in a good way, of course, with their own bodies. I mean, if you want to like do exercise, it's up to you how far you want to go, how big you want to get, how lean You want to get how skinny, how muscular. It's up to you guys, and that goes for everyone, men and women, right?
Yes.
And well, I don't know if I could say something just to wrap it up about
All right,
this. Well,
David.
like what you were saying. I was thinking about a recommendation. No, for you were asking about discipline and stuff. I think that what can work for anybody is having a goal. Anything like
Exactly.
whatever you practice. No, for example, in the case of Sonia, calisthenics. No, what's my goal?
Yeah.
I want to do a muscle up. Okay, so you have to direct your training towards that. No, what do I want to do? I want to specific goals because people say I want to run a marathon. No,
Uh
okay,
huh.
yeah, running a marathon is pretty wide. I mean, I want to run a marathon. How fast? No, what's the time that you want to run? And it depends on the goal that you have. No,
Of
that's the
course.
training you have to do. No, so that's really important because that keeps you that keeps you focused. When you don't have a goal, you're just wandering around,
Yes.
and you get lost. No, because you go to
Exactly.
the gym and then you play soccer and then you ride a bike and then you
Or
do
you
calisthenics,
quit.
and then, or you quit,
Or you
which
quit.
or you quit. No,
Both
because you
are.
don't see results. And we go back to the point that we mentioned at the beginning. No, so
Exactly.
that because motivation, if I think that one of the most important concepts that we should disregard is motivation. Motivation is nothing. Motivation lasts 2 days. And the third day,
Eh.
you are all tired, you're sore, you don't want to move, and you want to die. So it's
Exactly.
like that's when discipline takes over, no?
Exactly.
And discipline is created when you have a goal. If you don't have a goal, you say like, I feel terrible. I will not go to the gym today. No, why would I put all this stress in my body if I want to be in my bed all day long? So, but if you know that in 3 weeks you have to run a marathon, you have a competition, or simply you bet with your friends and you're gonna lose 2,000 pesos because you are betting for who's losing more weight, then you get
Go.
up and go,
Yeah.
right? So
All right.
the goal is, but you need to have a goal.
Okay. Okay. So we have learned a lot today by listening to you guys. Sports or working out can make you become the better version of you. Your body is your body. Treat it the best you can and have a goal, have a plan, and stick to it. Guys, thank you so much for sharing your experiences. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here and let's talk. I thank you in the name of
Thanks
Interlingua.
for having us here.
Yes.
No,
Thank
we're
you.
delighted to. We're delighted to. Thank you,
Thank you, Mike.
everyone.
Thank you for having
No,
us.
You might
you're welcome. You're
Thank
very
you
welcome,
for.
guys. And for all our viewers, also, thank you for being with us. Please share the video in your social media. And without further ado, I must bid you adieu. Guys, thank you one more time. Goodbye. Mwah, and good night. Bang.
Bye.